Hey nerdies, it's Kathleen here, and today I'm going to talk about something I haven't really talked about on this channel very much, and that is gay life in Korea. The reason why I haven't talked about it that much is because in Korea, being gay, along many other things, is something that you suppress and keep to yourself. I learned the hard way that you do have to keep your sexuality secret at work. Thankfully, that isn't too hard. But yeah, a lot of my students will say things like, "Ooh, do you have a boyfriend?" And my boss will say that, which to me is inappropriate, but Korean culture, asking if you have a boyfriend is like asking, what your favorite hobby is, or it's like asking where you're from. It's just something that you ask. So it is a little invasive. Usually I just say, "No, I don't have a boyfriend," and then I leave it at that. And I don't need to explain myself. But basically, Korean culture, you have to please your parents, you have to please your boss, and you have to keep your personality, who you are as an individual, your creative being, to yourself. In fact, I don't think most of my students understand what creativity and what individual thought really is. But in Korean education, it is not about individuality. It's about memorizing the facts that will please the big guys. And there's always this sense of I have to please who's above me. And this isn't something that just affects your sexuality. This is something that affects almost everything about you. And it's so hard because I feel that I just have to keep up this performance all day, every day. And I get a few hours by myself every night where I get to actually be myself. And that's kind of why making YouTube videos is so necessary for me, because it's one of those places that I get to just be myself in a culture where I'm not supposed to be myself. And let me just say a huge disclaimer. I'm not trying to criticize and say that Korea is a horrible place. It is a lovely place. It is a wonderful place. Obviously, I've still stayed here despite all of the conflicts that have arisen and so many people telling me to go back home. I've refused to, because at the end of the day, I think Korea, I admire how hardworking Koreans are. And like, Koreans are just the most fascinating and beautiful people. One of the most fascinating and beautiful people on the planet. I don't want to say the most, but one of the most fascinating and beautiful people on the planet. And they're just I'm just so inspired by how hard they work and how I can't put into words how much I love the Korean people, how much I feel just at home here. And no matter where I go, I will always feel that a piece of me is in Korea, because this place has wooed me. I've fallen in love with it. And the same thing, that sense of having to please people at all times also comes with sexuality. Being gay is not accepted here. No. And if you are gay, you should keep it to yourself. You have to keep it to yourself for your safety, because you could lose your family. Your family could disown you, refuse to speak to you. And if they do that, you are considered a complete outcast, because family is everything here in Korea, like everything. It doesn't matter how dysfunctional or awful your family is to you, you have to be a part of your family. It's just, it's part of what it means to be alive here. So, also, losing your job, I used to think that I would stand up for my own values. I would stand up for my individuality no matter what the cost. And that ideal was severely wounded by my first experience at my first school that I taught at. And I'm a teacher here in Korea, if you didn't already know that. And I realized that, at least for the time that I'm here, I have to keep who I am hidden at work. I have to keep my individual values, my individuality, a secret at work. Not just my being gay, but just who I am as an individual, because I work for a company and I have to present that company. And I think that's just, it's something that is a truth and reality in America, but it is like that times 1,000 here. It's out of this world. And I'm not criticizing the place I'm working with by saying that. I am so grateful to work for them, and I love my kids and I love my students, but it's not like at fault of my school. That's part of the society. That's a hard part for me to deal with. So how do people deal? How do people cope with being gay here? They do cope. There are great outlets for people that are gay here to reach out to other people in their community, to make friends, to help them through this. And things for gay people aren't as miserable as you would think. Yes, they're hard, but people survive. People thrive in this culture. And I've learned that in the last couple months. I've decided it's been good for me that I'm kind of separated myself from my friends in Incheon, even though I do want to stay in contact with them, because it's forced me to make new friends. And because of that, I've been joining LGBT meetup groups. I met up with a group of lesbians and we had amazing Swedish food. Oh, it was so good. And we just kind of talked about life, and it was really cool just to see that even though some Koreans that live here are just terrified of telling their parents, they have great friends that help them through it. And they have these little groups of friends or these little places where they can be themselves and learn to cope and support each other. And that just shows me that no matter what country you live in, no matter how hard it is, there is always a community of people that are gay or that are weird like you that can help you get through it. And that community is absolutely necessary if you are a queer person. It's absolutely necessary to just survive and thrive. And last night I really felt that. So last night I went to Korea's gay district, Itaewon. Homo Hill is what they call it. There's a hill in Itaewon, and when you walk up it, you will see more and more gay bars and gay restaurants.
Like there's a hooker place.
Oh my god, shit, we're in Hooker Hill.
Yeah, like there's like glass house.
Oh shit. And actually, near the bottom of that hill is a gay bar called La Queen. And I looked it up online. I wanted to find a gay bar that had a drag show, because drag shows are absolutely, I love them. Last night, I started doing something legitimately that I haven't done in so long. This. I had a real smile on my face, and I can't remember the last time in the last 2 months that I've had a legitimate smile on my face. My face was hurting from all the smiling I was doing. And I'm like, this is real, because I'm so used to fake smiling that I'm just like, wow. Last night, I went with a friend who used to work at my old school, and I told her, hey, one thing that I've always wanted to do in Korea but have never done is go to a drag show. And she was like, yeah, let's do it. So we found this gay bar called The Queen, and the entrance fee was $10. It was not cheap. Also, the drinks are really overpriced and super small. It was like this big. I asked for a Jaeger and Coke, and I got like this little tiny thing about this big, and probably paid like $10 for it. So that is Itaewon in a nutshell. Like, no matter where you go, that is the situation. So yeah, not cheap. However, When I first got there, there were like a couple of guys, barely any women, and that situation didn't really change that much. A lot of the gay bars are mostly guys, unless you go to a lesbian only bar, which I know there's one in Hongdae called the Pink Hole. Yeah, it's called the Pink Hole. And I do plan on going to that at some point, but there were mostly gay men at this bar. I thought, oh my gosh, this is gonna be super dead. But around 1 o'clock in the morning, where the drag show started, everyone poured in and it was packed. And oh my god, this drag show was amazing. Just there, my favorite drag queen was one of the queens. She dressed up in hanbok, which is Korean traditional dress, and I didn't understand any of it really. I understood the cuss words that she said because like every couple of sentences she would be like shibal, shibal, shibal. So they had like this sassy like vulgarness that is traditional of many American drag queens. They were like, she was throwing some shade, kind of insulting some people in the audience like in a very humorous way, and it was great, but I didn't really understand most of it. However, it was just so great. Like, I can't explain it. I just felt like this sense of community, even though I didn't really talk to many people there. Just like, wow, almost everyone in the bar was Korean. So the stereotype that Americans are influencing Korea to be more gay is totally false. I found maybe 4 Americans in the bar, 6, including me and my friend. Almost everyone there was a Korean gay man. Like almost everyone there. And I got to see like men dancing with each other, kissing each other on the cheek, and just being really romantic. And this is the first time in 6 months that I've seen that. I was just like, wow. You know, you're not alone. If you're gay and you're in a country that's not accepting of it, you're not alone. If you're here in Korea, I'm sorry I don't speak more Korean. I would make this message for Korean gays in Korean, but just know that you're not alone. Like, there are many Korean people that are gay, and that just proved it to me. Like, I'm gonna pass these people on the subway someday, and I'll never know that they're gay, but they're out there. And they are surviving, and there's a community for us here, and we make it work. And I believe someday in the future things will get much better for gay people because more gay people are coming out. There are YouTube channels of gay people out there, and they share their experiences, and it's becoming more of a thing. It's gonna take some time, but it will happen eventually.
Thank you guys for watching this video. I should go.
Oh, it smells so bad. Okay, I'm just gonna take one. I'm gonna eat it. Okay, I'm gonna do it.